Hello everyone, my name is Visualize and welcome back to Waveforms. Now, today there's going to be something a little different. You see, we have an exclusive interview that's going to be running throughout the entire episode today. Here I am with Nick Gitter, also known as Nokae and VGR. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, how are you?
I'm doing great. It was actually surprisingly easy to first get a hold of you. It was just the time working out that was confusing for me, cause say this for the people listening. You're from Massachusetts, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, this guy's 3 hours behind me. So 3 hours ahead. I'm 3 hours behind him. Anyway, so tell the listeners a little bit about yourself, what you do, where we can find you.
So I'm known under two aliases, the more popular one being VGR, which is short for Video Game Remixes, which is primarily a YouTube channel, but also a SoundCloud account. If you look up Video Game Remixes, you'll find both on both platforms. And that's my main gig. I make remixes of video game songs that are trending or that people were requesting or that ones that I just found super nostalgic and that I would give a go.
You also do anime stuff and TV show stuff, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Like Steven Universe.
Ironically enough, my biggest portion of my fan base comes from those who listen to my Steven Universe remixes, which are technically there's a video game for it, but it's a TV show. There are two. There's one for mobile and now one for console.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for it to come out on PC.
Yeah, that would be extremely convenient.
Yeah. Anyway, and now what do you do for your original stuff?
Yeah, so my original stuff is just basically a amalgamation of inspiration from the video game music that I heard during my childhood, the anime soundtracks that I listened to throughout my childhood up until now. And then also when I started getting into electronic music and just kind of mixing that all together, mixing all three of those influences together and creating tracks that I think appeal to fans across all three of those kind of facets.
What was that last part you kind of cut out?
Oh, sorry. I was just saying my whole intention with the originals is to be able to kind of reach across all three of the facets, being video games, anime, and electronic music, kind of combine them into one where there's kind of this piece of nostalgia to it, and there's also this piece of being something else refreshing at the same time.
Yeah, and we can find your original alias Nokae on SoundCloud as well, right?
Yes, on SoundCloud.
Yeah. All right. So now the other thing, I guess, to start this off would be explain what Nokae means, because I know what it used to be NO''K, but now since there's some people who won't be able to see it before they check you out, explain what it is.
So the NO''K was just me trying to find a decent way to spell Nokae, and it was not a decent way to spell Nokae. It didn't make any sense. So I decided to switch it to a more, reasonable spelling of Nokae. The story behind Nokae is kind of funny. I was on the bus texting one of my friends a few years ago, and I was responding to his text. I was either going to say no or okay. I was thinking to myself, oh, Nokae, that sounds pretty cool. And then I just turned to my friend who I was sitting next to. I'm like, hey, what do you think about Nokae for a musical alias? And he's like, what? Because you don't have a K in your name? And I'm like, yeah, that exactly. So that's what I'm going with.
Yeah. So oh my god, I can hear my audio glitching out in my headphones. So it started with the basic idea from texting your friend, and then it moved on to you realizing that it perfectly fit you already.
Yep, exactly.
So cool. Anyway, so we're gonna get into the first mix here. what would you like to be the forefront song to showcase to the listeners? It can be an original, it can be a remix, anything.
I think that a pretty good start for kind of introducing anybody to my original music would probably be Sword Stance, just because it's the epitome of me trying to combine um, current kind of trends of electronic music with my love for anime soundtrack and video games.
track from the first mix, and honestly, I think with an artist like you, we are pretty much set. As you were saying though, swords, no, not swords dance, broken, kind of starts out like your basic mid tempo sort of mimi song, but if anything, your memiest piece would have to be Oni. I mean, you saw what Robo-Rob did with it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be a meme at first. In fact, it was inspired by Pokemon Mystery Dungeon
Really?
initially. Yeah, I was going to name it Time Gear because that was the first thing that came to mind. For some reason, it just kind of like had a feel of adventure to it. But then I realized, oh, this is sounding super kawaii, future bass.
You just toss in a clip of Rem from ReZero. Oni.
And that's it. Yeah, that's. I mean, like I decided I wanted to put a little anime soundbite in there. And what anime am I watching right now? Oh yeah, it's ReZero. So why not just grab a clip? I went on YouTube, tried to find something, cut out a piece. That was that.
Yeah. All right. So here's an interesting one. So one of your biggest things is, as far as VGR alias goes, is getting your Spear of Justice remix featured on Game Chops. How did you first find Game Chops, and how did you actually get featured?
Yeah. So I mean, the story goes basically the reason why I chose video game remixes as a name was because I didn't really realize there was such a culture behind video game remixes. So I thought, hey, why don't I fill that gap? And then I realized only a few months later that that gap was already being filled, and I looked kind of pretentious because I had the name video games, and that was fine. Yeah, I actually found out about Game Chops a couple months after making video game remixes a thing, and when I started gaining momentum, I pitched one of these kind of original tracks. It's called PK Fire to Game Chops, and
I take it that's one you haven't released?
I did release it. It's on my SoundCloud. It's on my YouTube as well. But that was before I really had a sense of mixing, so it's a little bit messy. And so I pitched it to Cutman, and he's like, "This is a really cool concept, but your mixing is off." And I totally knew that was true. And he said, "Come back to me if you do a better job mixing it." And I decided I was going to release it because I wanted it to be a tribute to Satoru Iwata, who had just passed away.
Yeah.
So
Quickly, for those of you who don't know, DJ Cutman is the founder and owner of the Game Chops music label, a music label completely dedicated to video game remixes. Not this one, but the art of remixing video games. And
I would love if there was just another channel that was dedicated to my music.
Video Game Remixes fan account 3.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, DJ Cutman is the leader and owner of the label. Anyway, continue.
So yeah, where was
you
that?
You had submitted your track. He said the mixing was off and you knew
Right.
it, but you decided to put it up anyway as a tribute to Satoru Iwata.
Yeah, because he had just passed away. So then several months later, Undertale was a big thing. I was making my remixes for it.
Game of the year every year.
Yeah, that fandom is still going strong, apparently. I mean, I was never super huge into it. I loved the game, but I was never I never got into the lore or whatever. I was a casual fan.
Yeah.
Please don't hate me.
Nah.
Yeah.
I have nothing to hate about for anyone.
Good.
I
Well,
will
yeah.
I'll freaking be amazed by you just for the fact that you're here talking to me. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
so it was Spear of Justice that you submitted?
Actually,
For,
the story goes that DJ Cotman really liked my dummy remix, and he said, "Hey, could we get one of your Undertale tracks on Game Chops?" And so I made the Spear of Justice remix for a Game Chops release. It was actually pretty difficult because
So
I
it was
was
kind of
using.
it was kind of like commission.
No, not really. It was just I was going to make a track, and it was going to be released exclusively on Game Chops, my channel.
Well, yeah, like I meant more in the sense that you made it for that specific thing. They
Yeah.
asked for something that they could put up, and you're like, I'll make something.
Yeah, I mean, in retrospect, I might have kind of misunderstood. Like, I think Cutman might have just wanted to put my dummy remix on or one of my previous remixes on, but I'm like, I'm just gonna make a brand new one.
Personally, I
And
think that was a good decision.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, I mean,
because that means you can create more and more and never stop.
exactly. And so the Spirit Justice remix was a little tough because I was using the 32-bit version of Serum to make some of the sound design, and I was using too many instances and it crashed the project and corrupted it. So a lot of that sound,
Just suddenly freezes after 3 notes.
yeah, it was a disaster. Like I lost almost all of the sound design and I had to redo it. So I actually skipped a day of school playing hooky in order to completely pump out the track practically from scratch. And then I delivered it to Cutman just in time.
Yeah, I use Ableton. I had a similar glitch with Serum though. It was the 64-bit version, but basically whenever I would play higher than a certain note on my MIDI keyboard, it would immediately shut down.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
I've never had that.
I didn't know why. I was so confused, and then I realized, wait, it's the register it's trying to process, and turns out I gave it a wavetable that it couldn't process beyond a certain note.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Anyway, and then about Tiny Waves. So how was Tiny Waves founded, and how'd you make your way into that?
Yeah, so Ben actually reached out to me early summer 2016. We'd never talked before this, and he just got a voice chat with me on Discord and pitched the idea of Tiny Waves, which was a record label primarily for original music inspired by video game music. And so that was right up my alley, and I thought it was really cool. At first, I had some misgivings, actually, or not misgivings, I was just had some concerns that because Ben's whole platform was people repost each other's tracks in order to get momentum, and at first, that concept was a little bit off-putting to me because I never reposted other people's tracks before. But in retrospect, I'm totally fine with it. I repost
Because you realize, hey, they do it for me, and it helps me out. I might as well reciprocate.
Exactly. And it wasn't like a matter of trying to be stingy or anything. It was just I was concerned with if I reposted other people's tracks, would people get confused? Like, hey, why is he reposting this guy's track? Is this his? Is he a promotion label? And
it's like those people. It's like those people who comment on the Game Chops accounts like remix Night of the Living Dead or stuff like that, and it's like Game Chops is the label. Game Chops is not an artist. The confusion. The confusion with those with like reposting the stuff or putting the stuff up on whether or not people would think you're like a promotion account. I mean,
yeah, they already think I'm a promotion account. I just had a very talented artist reach out to me with her remix trying to get a spotlight on my channel, and I had to explain that. Sorry, I'm not a promotion channel. I know. It's kind of confusing because my name is Video Gamer. So it's a blessing and a curse to have the name.
No, I mean, yeah. If it comes down to it, you could just swap it over to VGR. That might cause a bit of confusion, but it's still the same name, just an acronym.
Yeah, maybe not. I'll think about it. There's definitely some thought to be put into my brand in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so we're gonna get into the second mix here. What would you like me to play for this one?
Well, I've got 2 storytelling tracks. One that's also in Weeb Music, the album. And then another one.
Let me guess. Broken and Otaku.
Yep, they both tell a story of sorts.
So, which one would you like to put?
How about we break from the Weeb Music album and play Otaku?
And we're back. I think that was a pretty good mix. Anyway, so tell us a little bit about that first track, Otaku. What were you trying to communicate with that?
Yeah, so the entire song moves in a chronology of like a kind of a overview of an otaku's life.
Describe what
Um,
an otaku is for those who don't know.
so an otaku is a person who kind of um, avoids social interaction, shuts themselves off from the outside world, and sits in their room, plays video games, watches anime, and is just a socially awkward person who is introverted, doesn't want to interact. So that's the story of the track. The beginning, the intro, is supposed to start with a blank slate. You're born into the world. There's a lot of potential for something beautiful. And then the first drop, kind of expresses a monotony where you're just going through life in this lifestyle that you've chosen, being the otaku lifestyle. And that's just uh, kind of the essence of the first drop. The bridge is to kind of show that while
You're talking about the part where it takes a theme and then it does the theme but modulates to the major second, right? Because the
sorry, which part? Yeah, that's part of the drop. Yeah, all of that is supposed to kind of embody this lifestyle where there's an option to kind of break away from it, but no, I'm gonna stick with it. And then the bridge is where there's real thought going into it.
Which part is the bridge?
The bridge is when it goes into the piano and you can hear in the background a door slamming and it's sitting down at the computer and typing.
Oh yeah, where you have like the mouse clicking, the keyboard. Did you record that yourself?
I did. Yeah. So I had to make all those sounds. I like punched a pillow to make it seem like I was sitting down in a chair. It was good stuff. But yeah, the bridge is supposed to express where there's this kind of aha moment where he's sitting down at the computer, he's doing his normal thing, and he realizes that he wants to break free of this lifestyle, and that's where
he wants to get out and do something.
Exactly, and that's where you can hear during the bridge, IA, which is one of the Vocaloids. I think that's how you pronounce her name, IA or Ia.
IA rocks.
Yeah, so she sings this sentence that is "Jiu ni naritai," which means "I want to break free." And so it's pretty blatant. It's pretty over the head. Hits you over the head.
Yeah. And that's the only time that IA Rocks appears in the entire song. Right?
Yeah, that's only in the bridge.
Yeah. And it's just one sentence, and that's like it kind of catches you off guard. You're like, "Oh, this guy is like really doing something related to an otaku here. It's not just the title." And then if you actually look into what the phrase means, it shows you that deeper meaning. I must say, it's a beautifully crafted song.
Thank you.
You have a lot of... Are you that knowledgeable in music theory?
I took music theory in high school, and I scored a 5 on the listening, and I scored a 2 on the actual theory. So
what was the max score you could get?
So you could get a 5 on the total exam. You could get a 5 in the listening part, and you could get a 5 in the theory part, and then combined, like averaged out, basically, you get your final score, which is out of 5. And so I got a 5 on the listening, I got a 2 on the theory, and I got a 4 overall.
So you passed.
I did. Oh, I did pass. But that kind of expresses where I'm at with music theory, where I understand it from a listening standpoint, but if I tried to explain it in words, it would be like, and then the thing goes like that, and it sounds good.
Yeah. I actually recommend the YouTube channel 8-Bit Music Theory if you.
Yeah, my roommate actually told me to look at 8-bit music theory.
Yeah.
I've watched one video.
Which
I've
one?
still yet to. I think it's the Mario one.
Which
Not
one?
sure which. I have no
is it
idea.
the one about Super Mario Land 2, the golden coins?
Yes.
Yeah. I think my favorite is him analyzing the saxophone solo from Dolphin Shoals in Mario Kart 8, because that's a great song. Actually, I hate to sound like someone to put in requests, but that's one I think you could really do well.
I've still yet to really tap into the Mario Kart.
If you just look
remix.
at the Dolphin Shoals theme, I think you could pull that one off easily. Like you could even like break it down into half tempo or something. Like you have a lot there that you could work with. Anyway, though, so I think all right. So we've just finished talking about like otaku and Nick's knowledge of music theory, what limited he may have. Actually, at OSA, the school that I'm doing this radio show for, we have tons of music theory classes, and I've currently passed all of them. So,
nice.
Yeah. Anyway, so I think from here what we should do is we should break into a 3-song mix, and then I think this should be one that has vocals, because after that we're going to talk about Jenny, Nikichi, and anyone you've ever worked with and how you met them.
Cool.
All right. So, give me a song that you did that has vocals that you think would be good.
I guess I could play. Why don't we go to VGR? We could do Hopes and Dreams, maybe?
Hopes and Dreams, yes, that's a good one. That one was featuring Jenny, also known as Unreachable.
I'm not giving up. No, I'm not letting go. And it's so dark outside. I'm gonna make it glow. You can't just run away. I know it's not too late. I don't care what they say. I'll keep on reaching for my hopes and dreams. Locked away, racing to the light of day. Can we stop this pointless war? Back to how it was before. Outside, I'm gonna make it glow. You can't just run away. I know it's not too late. I don't care what they say. Hopes and dreams locked away, racing to the light of day. Can we stop this pointless war? Back to how
sun. Say I have no direction, that I'm a lightspeed distraction. Well, that's a knee-jerk reaction. Still, this is the final frontier. Everything is so clear. To my destiny I steer. This life in the stars is all I've ever known. Stars and stardust and infinite space is my only home. But the moment that I hit the stage, thousands of voices are calling my name. And I know in my heart it's been worth it all of the while. And as my albums fly off of the shelves, standing out on crack pics of myself. This life I chose isn't easy, but sure is a heck of a ride. Like a comet, crash like a comet. I'm just a comet. But the moment that I hit the stage, thousands of voices are calling my name. I know in my heart it's been worth it all of the while. And as my albums fly off of the shelves, handing out autograph pics of myself. This life I chose isn't easy, but sure is a heck of a ride. At the moment that I hit the stage, I hear the universe calling my name. And I know deep down in my heart I have nothing to fear. And as the solar wind blows through my hair, knowing I have so much more left to share, wandering spirit is tearing its way through the cold atmosphere.
Alright, so you just heard a mix of 3 different songs that Nick has done with different vocalists. These vocalists and songs being Hopes and Dreams with Jenny, Take Them On with Nikichi, and Like a Comet featuring Skyrocket. So, I guess about the first one, Jenny, how'd you first get in contact with Jenny? How'd you find out about her?
Oh yeah, it's a fun story, this one. So my Stronger Than You remix was taking off along with my other two first Steven Universe remix being Strong in the Real Way and Amalgam following pretty close behind. And so I was starting to get some traction on SoundCloud. I was maybe just over 1,000 followers on SoundCloud at the time. And back then I would always go and check who was following me. And so I found Jenny, and I looked at her covers of stuff. She covered, I think, one of DJ Joe's songs and like a whole bunch of other kind of anime covers. And I'm like, oh, I always wanted to do anime remake. And so I reached out to her and said, hey, I listened to your stuff and I really like it. And would you be willing to collaborate with me on this Attack on Titan remake, which was Great Escape, which is the second ending theme, Attack on Titan Season 1. And so at that point, what she was probably thinking is, like, how did this guy find me? I just followed him. How did he find my stuff?
Just like the anime 4-point star eyes, like the flash in the back of the brain, like, oh my god.
I mean, I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, like, in her video description, she was like just kind of super surprised and excited about it. Like, I have no idea how he found me, how I was so excited to do this collaboration. I think it was really cool that I was able to find somebody. You can make connections and network over a platform like SoundCloud. I think it's amazing. And so now we have coming up on maybe 10 tracks together at this. And she's my go-to vocalist because she's just so responsible. She's got an awesome voice.
She's
And
very
I think-
versatile.
Yeah, she's worked on a whole bunch of different genres, and I've just had to like from swing to house music to mid-tempo.
My
She's
personal
done everything.
favorites. My personal favorites would be "It's Over, Isn't It," and "Jump Up, Superstar."
Yeah,
Yeah, I think those ones are not only very well crafted on your part, but also they really showcase what Jenny can do.
exactly. And especially for "It's Over, Isn't It," I kind of just went one direction with it, and I'm like, this is going to be weird. This is going to be totally different from the original. And
Yeah,
here's the
first of all, the original thing was a slow, straight eighths piano ballad. You made it an upbeat swing step sort of thing.
yeah,
I'll
And
play
so-
that one in the next mix.
yeah, for sure. But that's the thing is that with that one, with "Love Like You," where they're just so different from the
Yeah.
original in tempo.
Love Like You
and-
transferred from a 3/4 waltz into a 4/4 progressive piece.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
so I just made the instrumentals for them. I'm like, I'm just going to do this. And here you go.
Yeah.
And I gave it to her, and she's like, okay, I'll see what I can do with this. And then she basically creates a custom rhythm for each track, and she nails it. And I'm like, I didn't direct her in any way. She just did it, and it sounded perfect.
You just kind of let her do her thing, and you're just like, I think I can trust her to put out something good.
I mean, it wasn't. I never even had to think to myself. I think I can trust her. I gave it to her. I'm like, here you go, and she gave it back, and it was perfect. Like, I had no idea what the vocals were going to sound like, for the most part, at least. And she told me, this is what they're going to sound like, and I was like, yep, this is it.
Yeah. All right. So now, Nikki Chi, how'd you get in contact with her?
Yeah. So she was, I believe, connected to Jenny. Like they'd known, like they weren't necessarily super close, but they were kind of in this same vocalist.
Same circle of vocalists, you said?
Yeah.
Huh.
And so Nikki Chi actually reached out to me over SoundCloud, I believe, and hey, I love this new track and I love your stuff in general. I think she was referring to Dark Mage.
Oh, Dark Mage. I love that one.
She said I love.
I actually made an Overwatch highlight reel, and I used Dark Mage for the timing and all the rigs and assets for it.
Dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I was really excited about that when I made it.
Yeah.
In retrospect, I wish I would have made it a little bit more clean sounding, but I think it's still a really cool
I
concept.
actually think the gritty sound very well fits the character of Henry.
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Henry is a magician from the Fire Emblem video game series, and he is a total sadist.
Yep. He's
Well,
a crazy dude.
I'm not sure if that's the word. It's either sadist or whatever the opposite of a masochist is, where it's not you enjoy getting hurt, but you enjoy hurting people.
He's a little psychotic.
Yeah, some of his quotes include, "Yeah, blood," and stuff like if he kills you with a critical hit, he'll say, "Oopsie."
Yeah. He's a fun character.
Yeah,
but
he's
like,
definitely
the
crazy
reason
and definitely the kind of character I'd use on my team. But yeah, I think personally the kind of gritty, almost there, not too clean sound of Dark Mage definitely fits him.
Cool. I mean, I'm glad you think so. But yeah, she really liked that song, especially the chord progression during the bridge. And she reached out to me and said, I'd love to do a track with you, specifically an original track. And so that was Take Them On, which we'd put on the back burner for a year because I was just trying to figure out how I wanted to finish off the song. Like there was something missing in the production, and so I sent it to Ben, and he's like, "Oh, I got this. I can fix this up." So Ben Briggs took the track and he put his own kind of Ben Briggs kind of stuff in there with the chiptune.
Yeah, he does a lot
and,
of chiptune, housey, progressive stuff.
Yeah, so I think it complemented it very well, and it just filled in all the holes.
I take it Ben uses FL Studio as well.
Yep.
Yeah. That's one of the sad things about using Ableton. You're kind of limited on who you can work with.
Well, there's always Splice. Splice is really helpful for that.
Yeah. Anyway, so then I think final one would be Skyrocket. How'd you find out about him?
So yeah, I went to MagFest last year. I'm also going this year. A little plug. I'm going to be performing there at the Mega
MagFest is
Manathon.
music and gaming festival. For those of you who don't know, it happens every year.
And it's awesome.
Yeah, and Game Chops for a while now has had a segment thing that they do where they have like a straight up DJ run.
Yeah, I'm actually.
Are you part of the Game Chops thing, or are you on your own, or with Tiny Waves?
I am part of the Mega Manathon.
Oh.
And I am potentially part of something else, but I can't tell the details right now.
Have you ever tried remixing a Mega Man tune?
I have not. I actually haven't played a Mega Man game all the way through ever. But
go to the MIDI shrine. Go to the MIDI shrine. Download mm2wood.mid.
Okay, I'll definitely check it out.
Yeah. The main thing was it's a meme. mm2wood.mid is the theme for Woodman from Mega Man 2, and it is the worst MIDI that has possibly ever been created.
Oh, well, that doesn't sound fun at all.
Yeah, if you're familiar with the Siva Gunner channel, then you'll see some stuff from it. Anyway,
gotcha.
So more about Skyrocket.
Yeah,
you were at MagFest.
I went to MagFest last year. That was my first time going, and I just met a whole bunch of new people. Some people that I'd been talking to online through the Tiny Waves Discord, and then others that I just, before going to MagFest, didn't even know who they were. And one of those people was Skyrocket. And even during my time at MagFest, I didn't even know he was a vocalist. But then afterwards, he joined the Discord. He put links to some of his stuff, and I'm like, oh, damn, this guy is an extremely talented singer. And I've been looking for a male vocalist so that I could tackle some of these Steven Universe remixes with male vocalists on them. And another part of the story is that when I went to visit Cartoon Network Studios in February, I met with the animation.
In when?
In February.
Sorry, some of your audio's glitching out. Probably on my side.
Yeah. So yeah, when I met with some of the people at Cartoon Network in February, I got to also meet one of the animation directors, Nick DeMaio, who was also the person who wrote the lyrics to and just wrote the song in general, Like a Comet. And he said, hey, you should remix my song. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm told by the guy who made the track, then I've got to do it, and I've got to make it good.
You've got to at least try.
Not at least try. I've got to make it good. And so I'm like, I've got just the guy for vocals now, and we're gonna make this something that Mr. DeMaio is gonna be proud of. So yeah, that's the story behind that one. I reached out to Skyrocket, and I'm like, I found a perfect track for you, and we've got this animation director rooting us on. Let's do this. So that was that.
Oh, that's actually a pretty fun story. I actually wish I could go down to Cartoon Network Studios and do anything there.
It was a cool place. I don't think you're allowed to take pictures in there, but it was pretty majestic.
Well, I think MK Atwood did and managed to take a few pictures.
She got all buddy with everybody on the cast.
Yeah.
I hope sometime soon I can do something like that, but I'm pretty busy.
Just create a jingle for the Steven Universe podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely reach out to Mackenzie and see if that yields anything, but
Yeah.
nothing set in stone.
Anyway, so I guess now would be the best time to go into the fourth mix. What would you like to start off for this one?
I don't know. What are you in the mood for? Originals or remix?
Give us one of your originals.
Okay. Well, another storyteller would be Broken then. That's the second track in Weeb Music, and it's kind of the sister track to Otaku.
I was fine with the men who would come into her life now and again. I was fine, 'cause I knew that they didn't really matter until you. I was fine when you came, and we fought like it was all some silly game over her. Who'd you choose? After all those years, I never thought I'd lose. It's over, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it over? It's over, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it over? One, and she chose you, and she loved you, and she's gone. It's over, isn't it? Why can't I move on? Fusion, freedom, her attention. Now in daylight, my potential, full precise, experimental. Who am I now in this world without her? Betty and hope, love to doubt her. What does it matter? It's already done. I've got to be the forefront. It's over, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it over? It's over, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it over? One, and she chose you, and she loved you, and she's gone. It's over, isn't it? Why can't I move on?
And we're back. All right, so this one is going to be a little special. This is the, cue the reverb,
speed round.
Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to ask a bunch of really quick questions that you could answer in one sentence or one word or one phrase, and just get as many answers in as you can. It's going to be stuff like your favorite foods or tracks that you want to go back and redo or things like that. All right?
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. Favorite food?
Soup dumpling.
Nice. Favorite anime?
Toradora.
Favorite anime of 2017?
Maybe Food Wars Season 3.
Favorite video game?
Pokemon Diamond.
Favorite video game of 2017?
Mario Odyssey.
Favorite thing to do when you're not at home?
Go for a run.
All right, let's see. Favorite track you've made this year?
Probably the Wii Shop channel.
A track you most wish you could go back and change?
Dark Mage.
Okay. Favorite event or favorite thing you've done in general this year outside of production?
Hanging out with some really cool people at Anime Expo.
Favorite producer other than yourself?
Zed.
Favorite song?
Jeez. That changes. I can't answer that one.
Okay, favorite Zed song?
Probably Spectrum.
All right, let's see. Favorite genres of music other than electronic?
Soundtrack, J-pop, or K-pop.
All right. Favorite time of the day?
Probably late evening.
Favorite weather?
Sunny.
All right. That was actually a pretty good run for the speedrun. You're the first person to ever do it, so looks like you've set a standard for Thomas to try to live up to. Tenkitsune.
Hey,
Yeah,
that's my homie.
that's the other guy I've got currently in the works, trying to do an interview with.
Sweet.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy.
Yeah, I have only talked to him through email, though. I've not heard his voice ever, so it's going to be kind of weird. I've heard your voice on stream.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, but so I was kind of ready to hear your voice, but with Thomas, it's going to be a little confusing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that's about it, and I think we should have one final mix to take it out. Before we do that, though, where can we find you?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube. If you just search up VGR on YouTube or Video Game Remixes on YouTube, I'm the channel that first pops up. Yeah, Video Game Remix, no spaces, on SoundCloud. Twitter, if you search VG Remixes, I do a lot of fun little tweets there. Instagram, Video Game Remixes, no spaces. Snapchat, VG Remixes, and that's pretty much it.
And then for Nokae, it's NOK-11 on SoundCloud, right?
Yeah, or if you search NOKAE in the search bar, you'll also be able to find me there. But yeah, I forgot to mention also, I'm on a whole bunch of my stuff's on iTunes and Spotify. If you look up VGR on iTunes and VGR on Spotify, you can even find my 3 tracks and Weeb music. You search up Nokae on iTunes and Spotify as well.
Yeah. And anyway, as for this show, if you want to get featured or you want to do an interview or something, you can reach out to me at visualeyesmusic@gmail.com. That's visualizemusic@gmail.com. You can email Dolores Thompson, our coordinator, at dthompson@oakarts.org. And you can find me on Instagram at visualizemusic, same as my email, and you can find me on SoundCloud at visualizemusic, same as my email. Anyway, to take it out, this one's all yours, Nick. What do you want to take us out with?
I guess I could take you out with Here Comes a Thought.
That was a good one. You worked with Jenny and
Tofuku.
Jenny and Tofuku, that's right.
Yeah.
Tofuku's kind of a roamer around the Tiny Waves label. Never really having a steady gig, but someone's always willing to do something with her.
Yeah, she's just a really cool person, but she's definitely like doing her own thing. And I like to think that I'm kind of the same in that sense, where I'm hanging out with people. I hang out with the Game Chops people, but all in all, I'm just doing my own thing.
All right. Well, we're gonna take it out with Here Comes a Thought by our very own VGR here, featuring Jenny and Tofuku. Anyway, my name is Visualize, and I will see you all later. Bye.
Take a moment to think, adjust. Flexibility, love, and trust. Take a moment to think, adjust. Flexibility, love, and trust. Here comes a thought that might alarm you. What someone said and how it harmed you. Something you did that felt to be charming. Things that you said are suddenly swarming. Oh, you're losing sight. You're losing touch. I know these little things seem to matter so much that they confuse you. I might lose you. Take a moment, remind yourself. Take a moment and find yourself. Take a moment and ask yourself if this is how we fall apart. But it's not, but it's not, but it's not, but it's not, but it's not. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You've got nothing and nothing and nothing and nothing to fear. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. Here comes the a thought that might alarm me. What someone said, and how it harmed me. Something I did that failed to be charming. Things that I said are suddenly swarming, and oh, I'm losing sight. I'm losing touch. All these little things seem to matter so much that they confuse me. That I might lose me. Take a moment, remind yourself to take a moment and find yourself. Take a moment and ask yourself if this is how we fall apart. But it's not, but it's not, but it's not, but it's not, but it's not. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I've got nothing, got nothing, got nothing, got nothing to fear. I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. And it was just a thought, just a thought, just a thought, just a thought, just a thought. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. We can watch, we can watch, we can watch, we can watch them go by. From here, from here, from here. Take a moment to think, adjust. Flexibility, love, and trust. Take a moment to think, adjust. Flexibility, love, and trust.